Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. I read a book this week. Well, I've read two or three books this week. I don't know. But today I want to talk about Stephen King's The Shawshank Redemption. This was originally titled as Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption. But this was a book they released in October as like a, I don't know, like a 30th anniversary edition for the movie. So it's got a picture of the movie on here. And there's nothing else in here. I was expecting that there might be like a little something extra, like maybe a couple of pages about the movie or something. Nope. It's literally just the book, and that's it. That being said, is this a book? Does this count? Like, do you, if you're a reader, do you count novellas and short fiction in your books I read this year? If I look on Goodreads, I've currently read 78 books this year. Some of those are shorter, like this. You know, this was like a 3-hour read. Some of them, and if that's the case, like I've read magazines that took me longer than 3 hours to read the whole magazine, like Cosmic Horror Monthly or The Dark or something like that. Do those count as books? I don't know. Whatever. Not the point. The point is this. I've been wanting to read this for a long time, but I also kind of avoid Stephen King's short fiction in general. I don't find it to be very well done. That being said, though, if you've ever read his son's work, Joe Hill, Joe Hill's short fiction is fantastic. I feel like Joe Hill has a little bit better grasp of narrative, meaning that there's more of an arc, there's more of a beginning, middle, and end than a lot of Stephen King's work. And a lot of times I read his long fiction because it's just so engrossing, but maybe the story doesn't make sense. It doesn't need to. I don't care. I'm reading like a snapshot. This, however, attempts to have a story arc, and I found it to be not very good. I would say 1,000% the movie is better. This was originally published in early 80s in a collection called Different Seasons, and so there was 4 novellas of roughly the same length in that collection. The only other one you've probably heard of is Stand By Me. Yeah, Stand By Me, which also was turned into a very successful movie. I've loved this movie since it came out. I've always felt that it was just a masterful film. The movie's better. Just straight up, the movie is better. This book is okay, but it is basically just... It's a style of fiction I don't enjoy. It's the style of fiction as if the main character is writing you a letter, and it just goes on and on and on. And so this is Red, the character of Red, as telling you the story as he knows it. And so he has to constantly interject with, I heard this from such and such down on cell block whatever, or this is hearsay, or this is a collection of the... It's told... It's in a very clumsy way to tell a story when you're just stuck inside one person's head, and that person isn't the main character. I guess Red is the main character in this book, and it kind of concludes that way, but in reality... But he's not the main character of the story. The main character of the story is Andy. But we don't get Andy's point of view, and we don't get any of the guards' points of view. We just get heresy from Red telling us the story, and it just kind of doesn't work. It's okay. Like, it reads well, and if you've seen the movie, you know the book. They jostled things around a little bit in the movie just to kind of make it work sense within the runtime. And I think that all of those things they jostled around work better than what's in here. Because you end up getting introduced to people, places, and things that don't matter in the grand scheme of things. It's just filler or fluff or whatever, and maybe it's trying to help you understand Red, but ultimately Red doesn't really come into account in this book at all. It's a very strange feeling I have for it. I can see why it was turned into a movie. It has that sort of, middle finger to the man feeling. I would rather just watch the film. But that being said, I'm glad I bought it. I'm glad that I pre-ordered this. The moment I heard it was coming out, I thought, cool. I'll buy that. I'm not going to buy different seasons. I don't, all four of those books apparently were kind of more narrative fiction, Stephen, not his normal stuff. And so that's part of the reason I've avoided it all this time. I'm very glad that I read it, but I also, I'll just watch the movie. What do you think? Have you read and watched the movie? Do you love the movie? Do you love Stephen King? I think that this is worth reading if you're a King fan. Just if you're a Shawshank Redemption fan, That being said, I read we did an episode on The Green Mile, right? I bought The Green Mile as published originally in 6 pieces, and they were little tiny 6 books. That was fantastic, and I felt like that was what I was hoping for when I got a hold of this, was that I would find the movie but expanded, and it's not the case. It's not the case at all. The Green Mile is the written version of The Green Mile is amazing. The book is also good, but okay. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's 1,000 plus little things happy, successful people do differently. We're learning 19 quick tricks to feel better instantly, and we are on number 18. Notice what's right. It's easy to overlook what's working. Take a moment to celebrate it and watch the positive momentum build. I feel like that's the same as thinking about your latest success. Noticing what's going on correctly in your life right now is the same kind of gratitude journal-y sort of thing, and it does work. It really does work to concentrate on remembering, hey, my life's pretty good right now, and this is the reason why. I think that's a valuable lesson, a valuable tool, especially in moments of darkness, but like a lot of these things, it's better as a practice. If you can practice being grateful and you can practice remembering positivity, it eventually just becomes who you are. And I think that's better or more valuable than only doing these things in moments of darkness. That being said, if all you can do is do them in moments of darkness, if that's all you've got, great. Use it as a tool.